Welcome back to another episode of The Two Alphas Talk. This time we're going to talk to you about kind of a weird subject a lot of people don't think about. Uh, what if you're laying in the middle of the night in your bed, all of a sudden you hear a rustling downstairs. And so you grab your firearm in your hand and go downstairs, and now you have to engage a subject. Now, are you going to engage that subject in the dark, complete dark, and the subject might be 15 feet away? Or you're going to engage the subject by turning your flashlight on and engaging the subject. So, are you prepared for that? Have you been training for that? It's a lot of different factors when you have a flashlight on your pistol or your rifle, and now you're going to start to engage the subject, because some people, as soon as they pick up that firearm, first thing they do is turn that light on and they never turn it off again. So that light should never come on until you're about to engage, then go back off. Me, myself, I let my muzzle be the light, but that's me. So when it comes down to that, can you find adequate places that can train you in that?
Right.
You know?
And that's one thing, because a lot of places don't allow low light or no light situations on the range for safety concerns and insurance. But when you carry a flashlight like this one, where you can turn it on and off, there we go, turn it on and off at your will, not necessarily attached to a firearm, because if you're searching in an area that's unknown and you don't know if there's a hostile, you don't know if it's the dog or a neighbor or somebody that may be actually innocent in a situation and stumbled into your house, you have to be able to identify them, right? So you're in your own home, you know the layout of your home, you know where, who, and what, and should be there. So now you totally know that this person shouldn't be in your house. Do you just blanketly open fire on them, or do you still address and try to stop, halt? You don't have the right to do that. Well, you have the right, but you don't have the responsibility to say, hey, stop, halt, or any of those things. You're not a police officer unless you are a police officer. In that case, do it accordingly. But for the rest of us, you have to make sure that that's a threat. So how do you do that? Do you do it with a light attached to a gun, or do you do it with an auxiliary light? That's the choice that you have to think about.
Now, in my home, this is my stop measure. So I don't say anything. This does all the talking. So um, outside the home, different story. I won't run a flashlight outside the home. It's just, I have no purpose of it. If it's in the middle of the night, if it's dark, I'm in a low light area, I'm going to take the shot. And I'm probably going to put about 6 in that direction to figure out what's going on. But I'm going to make sure that subject's no less than 15 feet away from me. 20 yards could be pushing in the middle of the night. But at least 15 yards, I know I can hit the shot in the middle of the night and dark. I don't need a flashlight for that. Now, the flashlight is a good deterrent if you are pop the flashlight on and moving and engaging the target at the same time. And so,
But that takes practice.
yeah, that takes practice. And the thing of it is getting off the X with a flashlight. So you flash the target, um, step to the left, step to the right, and actually engage the target with the light on. So now the subject is trying to figure out where your body at. So in the first reaction is to shoot at the light, and you can hit the subject. But the light usually, for that first couple of seconds, it throws the subject off. It always does. So
It could be useful in that situation, but also you have to pay attention to, if you keep the light on, it's now marked your position as to where you are.
right.
So now you want to make sure that the light's on and off as you move. That, as I said earlier, it takes practice. The other thing that for new people you have to pay attention to, because I know the lights look really cool on the guns, and now you have a little bit extra weight. So you have to get out there and practice with a light attached to the gun in order to figure out where you want it before a critical incident occurs. If you put it on the gun and you never train with it, you never practice with it, now all of a sudden you need it in real life, you're in up shit's creek.
And another thing, don't put a laser on your gun. I mean, you end up chasing the laser.
Lasers are slow.
Yeah.
For all new people and people who have not experienced, lasers are slow. And if you don't believe that lasers are slow, come see me, come find me, and I'll show you. Bring your laser, and I'll show you how faster you are without the laser than with the laser.
And guys, don't be putting these IR lights on your rifles because you're not calling in an airstrike. It's not happening.
But it's so cool.
Oh yeah, it looks good.
It's tactical, man.
It makes the rifle heavy. So just strip it down. Don't put anything on it. We've been shooting without flashlights for decades, centuries. You know, so
we're centuries old too.
Yeah.
So combined.
Right.
But when you look at it, you have to understand what your project is. What is your goal? What are you doing? Why are you putting this light on there? What is the purpose for the light? Anything that you put on your gun, for that matter, has to have a purpose.
Yeah.
And if you're just putting it on because it looks good, and you don't train with it, you don't practice with it, it's
but you
not
want to
the
take some cool
Right.
Instagram pictures and
Nah,
stuff
see?
and video.
That works. And also holsters. You got to make sure that if you put a light attachment on
Gotta
your
have the
firearm,
holster.
on your pistol, you have to have a holster that accommodates that.
Right, and that's another expense because those flashlight holsters are very expensive.
More Kydex, more leather, whatever way you go about it.
Right. So it's an option. We're not saying don't do it. We're saying if you're
Think
going
about
to
it.
do it, think about it, get some training with it. It's not for me. It never has been. So, I mean, I keep a little flashlight in my pocket. I carry this thing everywhere I go.
And real quick, when he says it's not for me, and when I say it's not for me, we've actually been there. So we've actually been in critical situations where we had to either use or not use a flashlight. So we're not speaking from hypothetical. We're speaking from you don't need a flashlight at night.
No, you really don't.
Right.
I mean, you can see. Once you start blazing the muzzle, you can see.
Right.
So
It's like a what's the lunatic pictures?
Yeah.
With just a bunch of flashes going on.
all right. So we'll see you guys on the range.
See you on the range.
All right. Next time.